Welcome to our discussion about the Palouse Prairie Restoration Site Data Management Tool. I'm James.
And I'm Colton.
I'm Daniel Tackle.
We are Team 7 for the Senior Capstone course under Clay Brashears in spring quarter of 2021.
The Palouse Prairie Restoration Project is striving to restore EWU's farmland to native habitats with the goal to preserve natural land on campus that will foster research and educational opportunities, increase biodiversity, and provide recreational space on multi-use trails. Excuse me, I have a little bit of allergies. A primary goal of the restoration project is to expand learning opportunities for students and visitors to our campus. We envision that the space will inspire outdoor exploration, connection to natural environments, and help develop a strong sense of place. The site will include outdoor classroom spaces, informational kiosks, and other related opportunities to achieve educational and leisure goals. Outdoor classrooms will be available for instructional use as well as a place for students looking to find a place to study. Kiosks placed across the landscape will provide information about the history of the land, its current state, and ongoing research projects. This minimal infrastructure will maintain a low profile on the natural landscape and will allow for both active and passive learning opportunities. This provides the computer science and engineering department a unique opportunity to develop a system that can be used for tracking data throughout the course of the restoration project and beyond. There will be a constant need to track what tests and experiments have been conducted throughout different portions of the landscape.
The purpose of our project is to make an easy-to-use tool for storing and referencing large amounts of various data over time. It will support both text-based and media-based data. It allows for managers to add scalable flexibility in data tracking and examination. It will consist of a large rational database connected to a front-end web interface and will use password protected features for proper user authorization. This project will be used by multiple EWU departments, including biology, geography, geology, and the Office of Sustainability to store and monitor field data from the EWU Palouse Prairie Restoration Site. These data will be generated by EW students, professors, and researchers. The system will also provide the public with the ability to learn more about the project and view the scientific data being collected.
Our clients for this project were primarily Dr. Rebecca Brown from the Department of Biology, Eric Budsberg from the Office of Sustainability, and Dr. Stacy Warren from the Department of Geography. The web application will also be used by upper-level undergraduate and graduate students, along with other professors from science departments throughout EWU. The basic requirements that we decided to tackle for this project are the following. We first needed to ensure that researchers could store any data they collect while in the field. This was the most obvious and pressing matter for the application, since that involves the primary goal of storing data so they can be tracked. The second most important piece of this was the ability to view the data that have been stored. We wanted to allow anyone using the application to be able to see data that has been stored, but reserve the ability to create or manipulate data for researchers. This leads to the next requirement, which is providing researchers with the ability to log in. This was split into two categories, researchers and admins. Finally, we needed to provide all users with an interface they could use to interact with the application and make use of the features, as well as display information about the restoration project. Now we are going to take a little bit of a look at what our project looks like in its current form. It is running as a local host on my PC, and we're using MySQL and Apache to handle the database.
This is the homepage for our application. It shows the user a photo of the campus where the restoration project is taking place, as well as a brief description of what the project is. This next page, users shows more detail about the project overall and goes over some of the specifics. Using information provided by the biology department and the Office of Sustainability, we have broken the information up into small, easy to read sections. The first section gives users an overview of the EW campus, while the second section discusses the vision for the vision for the restoration project. The next cards highlight why the land has a need to be restored in the first place. This information page also gives users an idea about the educational opportunities available and some of the research that is being conducted. Our primary focus of this project is around the pilot site where researchers are laying the first tracks for many years of research.
Now that we've seen a little bit more about the project, let's take a look at how our application can manage the data collected by the researchers. As you can see, we are currently not logged in to the application. The login button is still present there, but we can click on the Research Projects tab to gain access to the data. The main page of this section shows a list of all the studies that have been submitted to our database. The table shows some of the more critical information that any user might want to look at, but we can also click on the View button for a more detailed look at all the information submitted for that study. So here we see all the information from the main table, as well as some additional details, though most importantly, we can see all of the files that were uploaded when the researcher filled out the data entry form. We also are working on implementing a download button that allows users to view the raw data, images, videos, or any other files that may have been submitted. The next page we created is a simple FAQ page for users of the application to find answers to any questions they might have. This is a list that will continue to grow throughout the course of the project as more research is conducted. The last publicly available page is the contact page. Here, users will find a list of all the major people who have worked on the project so far, along with their department and primary contact information. Next, Daniel will look at how the back end of the application works and how the user authentication plays a critical role in preventing data manipulation.
So we have already seeded the database with some basic test credentials that we can use to access the protected portions of the application. Once logged in, this is the dashboard that the user will see. So more features can be added to this once our client has a better idea of what they would like to see. So right now, this is more of just like a landing page. So we can click on our profile on the top right of the corner, and we can either choose profile or log out. Right now we'll click on profile. And from here, we can edit basic profile information such as the name, associated email, and the password. All of this information would be updated on the page and in the database in real time. The updated password will be rehashed and stored. We don't have passwords as plain text. They're using Bitcrypt as the hashing. All this information, this page will also allow users to enable two-factor authentication and log out of unwanted sessions. A user can also delete their account if they will no longer be conducting research for the restoration projects. So we go back to the dashboard. We can see that being logged in as an admin allows users to create a new user or view the current list of users in the application. The option to create a new user is one of the next things we will be implementing. So we will look at the users page. Currently, we have two pre-seeded users with separate roles. Both you can see in the table. They display all the necessary information to the admin. This includes if and when an email has been verified, so they know that the user is authorized to be logged in with that email. The button to the right hand column allows the admin to view the user's associated account information, edit the information, and even delete the account if the user no longer conducting research.
Now we will log out of the admin account and log in as a user to show what the dashboard looks like at that tier. As you can see, it still lands on the dashboard page, but only gives the options to manage the profile information or create a data submission. Let's go through the process of creating a new entry in the database and see how it adds it to the application for anyone to view. The first section of the form will allow the user to enter basic information about the project. The study ID will be determined by the departments as they structure the different experiments they will be testing. The other information should be filled out accordingly based on the specifics of the study in question. So for example, we can take a study and let's say the start date was May 3rd of this year. And let's say we just wrapped it up on the 28th of May. And then we will add in whoever the faculty lead is, as well as the student lead and their corresponding contact information. Right now, we'll just pre-fill it with information we used from sample data. Now, keywords can be selected that are associated with the research being conducted. So for this one, where we're studying the effects of moisture concentration on plant growth, we're going to select soil, plants, and hydrology, because those are the main ones that are going to be associated with that. The second half of the form will allow users to fill out any specific information for their study and any important dates that measurements may have been done. This just adds an extra level of association to the study outside of having just the user's raw data files. On the next and final page of the entry form, users can enter metadata about their files, which might include some of the variables tested, as well as any files they want to submit. The application will allow many file formats to be submitted. After clicking Submit Data, the data is stored in the database. All the information from page 1 is stored in an entries table, and all the information from page 2 is stored in a files table. They are related to one of another using the unique study ID that was entered on page 1. Back on the home page of the application, we can see that the navigation bar has updated to say dashboard instead of log in, since we are currently logged in. This allows us to switch between basic front-end UI that everyone can see and the protected UI that is available only to researchers and admins. If we now go back to this Research Projects tab, we can see that our most recent entry has been added to the bottom of the table, and we can view everything that we just submitted, including the files that were entered on a separate page. So here, clicking on the View button, we'll see all that information that we entered. And again, we only entered the relevant information to our study. So we did things for planting and hydrology down here. Everything else was left alone. And then there you can see all 6 of the files that we uploaded.
We really hope this project can be continued by many groups over the next few years. The back end is written in PHP using the Laravel 8.0 framework. Anyone with experience from the PHP web class would be a great fit for this project. There are also a lot of great tutorials on the web that we use for research and jogging our memory. Some of the features we would like to see integrated into the project are an interactive map of the entire restoration site to replace the photo on the homepage. This map would be built using GIS and the help of the geography department. It would allow users to hover over the sections and see what research has been done in what section. This would also require the entry form to have a section where users can add geographical markers and can be associated with their study. Another thing that would be great is to add an integration with the EW SSO system. This may or may not be possible and will require some more research and administrative oversight. However, it would reduce the need for maintaining all the code associated with the managed users for the site and the restrict most access to manipulative features to EW students and faculty.
We would also like to add a simple page to the primary front end where applicable users can view some of the photographs and highlights of different projects over the years. This may need to wait until the departments have completed a few more experiments and have more to show off. Another useful improvement would be tailoring the data entry form so that when specific keywords are selected, only relevant fields are displayed in section 2 so that researchers do not have to put NA in the sections they didn't conduct research on. One final big improvement we would want to see is implementing some analysis of the raw data that is submitted to create graphs of certain data sets. Ideally, this would be done by researchers already if they are preparing to show off the research as a presentation. But this can always be discussed with the clients.
A lot of the work and problem solving was completed as a team, but this slide shows these sections where each of us made our primary contributions to the project. Thank you for watching, and we really hope you pick up this project in the future.